Good evening, Professor Paulo, whoever is watching this video. We're going to have a presentation about 4 papers about systems learning networks, and one history, another count. The reference, bibliographic reference are on the description of this video. 3 of the theses are kind of new. They are from the 90s, and they are this is a time, a mature time in administration, and it faces a lot of challenges. The world is changing so fast. The companies has to adapt very quick to the barriers on the environment, economic, social, cultural. They have to react fast. A lot of very large companies shut down on the 90s, and the crisis in Russia, in Mexico, reflecting Brazil, and so on. So it's a time of a lot of complexity. The other test is of the 50s. It is about open organisms and closed organisms. So it's a theory that was imported from biologics to the administration era. The first text we're talking, it's from Alvarez and Ferreira. They say that division of work and the coordination is not a new theory. Taylor, Fayol, and Barnard talk about that in the beginning of the last century, but it's became more important, still valid. Larson says organization should be contingent, or there is no best way to structure. The best way to organize the structure of the company should be in contingency, because there's no best way. There's not a correct way to structure. That's like Larson said. Just something I forgot to mention. Our objective with this presentation is to understand if the theories from the 90s they still apply, and if the world is too complex, if the same theories still are valid on nowadays. Okay, so Larson said that's not a best way to structure. It has to be contingency. So it had a lot of changes on the structures from after that. There was division, organizational structure, differential based on product lines, customer grouping, geographical regions. So a company could not be the same in America, in Asia, in Brazil, and Canada. There was a lot of change. You had to be different. A department store could not have the same approach for the customer on the refrigerators department and the clothes department. The approach to the customer should be different. The structure should be different. On the 60s, it starts to talk about the matrix. The structure in matrix it was not only functional, it was not only by project. They should interconnect with double leadership. That was one of the problems of the matrix structure. But just cross section. One example is like IBM Credit. IBM Credit is not it's a department working in the financial area, but it works for all departments, for all areas in IBM. Another, based on the Eastern, a lot of structures had emerged since that. Lateral, horizontal, flat, upside down, flexible, modular, and virtual organizations. Organic and lateral structures. So the structures after that start to be more organic, more not so hierarchical, not so rich with a lot of degrees or steps, a high structure. No, it was more flat and more organic, adapted to each situation. Traditional authority and power lose legitimacy to flat organizational. All the authority started to change after the structure change. Hierarchical and cross-functional teams, they start to be self-managing. It's a very powerful tendency in the company today to have self-managed teams. I don't need a manager micromanage me all the time, tell me what to do, how to do that. No, I know what I should do. I know what's best to me and to the company. So with common objective, the team should be able to self-manage that. The role of the leader should be more like a facilitator, a coach, a supervisor. He should be able to say, to help the people develop their job better than telling him or her what to do. Well, so the text from the 50s are from Bertalanffy, the theory of open system physics and biology. He says in open system the states determined by reaction and inflow and outflow. A closed organism, it doesn't have reactions, it doesn't have change with the environment. Contrary of an open organism that receives that. So he says all the living creatures are open system because they receive influence of the sun, of the air, of the other animals, organisms living around it. A sea creature receives influence of the other sea creatures, etc. So he also says growth is counteraction of anabolism and catabolism of building materials. I think we can translate that for the companies too. Growth of the company is an influence of building materials, of building actions in order to have the company grow. This theory may be translated for the company environment, open system and closed system, like Peter Senge is going to tell us. Open system, we can say it's like a watch. A watch, it works with the inside, it works with the pieces it is within. If you will open the watch and remove the tank, we will see how the engines work with pieces, how it related with the other, and if you watch that for a moment, you will see how it works without any influence. It's different like a soccer team. A soccer team is a complex system. We are not able to understand how each player is going to move, how the ball is going to move, how the wind is going to affect the ball, how the sun is going to affect the sight, the vision of the goalkeeper. So if you say this player is going to throw the ball here, and this player is going to come here, and this one will leave this one to go close the gap here, so the ball comes here, each one scores the goal. It's going 100% that it will happen that way. It's not a 100% sure. Maybe this player didn't move it like this. Maybe this player threw the ball away. Maybe this one took the ball and come to score the goal against the team. So it's not simple. It's not a simple system. It's a complex system because the interrelations are not predictable. You can't say for sure what's going to happen. And solutions for complex systems, it's a more trouble to have solutions for complex systems. Peter Senge will tell us about the importance of the systemic learning, the organizational learning. He tells about the simulations that happen on the insurance company, Hanover Insurance Co. And he says that managers sometimes error the simulation. They make the plan crash on the simulator. They let the house burn on the simulator. It's like I told you in the last class about the beer game, that we try to predict the demand, and we end with lots of stocks, a very cost stock, better than if we didn't have any strategy. Now, sometimes the managers go that way. Managers, we are very good in separate things, and the value is on integrate things. For example, if someone tries to examine a corn, he will remove the grains of the corn and will check each one separately. If you try to regather that grains, we won't be able to craft the corn like it was. So separate, it has its value, but the value, what you can make different, is seeing the system integrated, how everything is integrating, how it works. The text from Ghoshal and Bartlett talk about multinationals, and it's a lot like Saint said. Multinationals are exponential open system. If all companies are open system, a multinational is a lot more, because it receives influence cultural, social, economic. It has a lot of dependency, interdependency of other companies. It has a large network, like the Philips network that was on the text. I'm going faster now because I passed my time. The units can have different goals, decision-making, authority, structure, commitment, orientations, with different authority choice. It will have the choice will be made by unitary, federative, or coalitions. It's not always the same way to take the decisions. One example I can talk about is the bonuses. I work at IBM, a multinational company, and for 2 years, Brazil scored. Brazil had achieved the amount of revenue that was designated. But the IBM World Company did not. So the Brazilian people, like the rest of the IBM, did not receive any bonuses. 2 years in a row after that, Brazil did not got the results. But the IBM company as one, it did. So the Brazil people received the bonus that year. So what was that? A federal decision, a company decision. But for this year, there was a change that the people from that was working remotely, was working from home, they had to be relocated on the plants, on the sites. They had to go back working on the sites. Most of a lot of people had to make this change, but Brazil did not. a lot of people in Brazil kept working at home remotely. So it's not always the same way the decisions are made. So just to close our presentation, to solve a complex problem, you need complex solution. For example, the boy in Araby. The Araby boy had a complex solution. He was shy. He was trying to talk with a girl. He never had a movement to let her get his feelings, and he had a lot of problems, monetary, socially, and so his solution was complex, and he tried to solve that with a simple solution. He talked with her one day, and he went to a fair, and he was hoping that it would make she closer to him. But it's not that simple. The train got delayed, he got there, the fair was closed, the things were expensive, no one gave a lot of attention to him. So he had a lot of problems and he could not achieve his desires. So we need the complex solution to solve complex problems. We should not use a simple solution to solve a complex problem. That's used to make things worse. So the best approach would say the PDCA action. First we plan, then we do, then we check, then we analyze, then we plan again. So it is a systematic improvement solution. Well, that was my presentation. Thank you and have a good night.